Hi, this is Sherron, the Modern Savvy CPA. Today we're going to continue talking about financial literacy, financial wellness, and everything that has to do with teaching you how to manage your money, developing wealthy habits, and teaching your kids about money, and making sure you have control of your money, because that is the way that you are going to lead a financially well life. Today we're going to discuss 10 wealthy money habits. And this is the first part of anything that you do, is you have to understand your mindset about what you're doing. And when it comes to money, when it comes to financial wellness, when it comes to financial literacy, your mindset is the first thing that you need to be looking at. You need to tell yourself the truth about your mindsets. We all have things about us in every situation that are pros and cons. When you're taking a medicine, there are pros and cons to the medicine. When you're wearing a dress, there's pros and cons to wearing a dress. When you're doing a degree, there's pros and cons to that. So nothing is 100% wonderful, or nothing is, well, most things are not 100% bad. So what you need to do is you need to have that mindset where you understand what your good parts are, what your good traits about that situation is, and what your bad traits about that situation is. And learn how to accentuate your good traits and deal with your bad traits, handle your bad traits, so you can handle the situation. So money, finance is a part of our life. We can't ignore it. We have to understand our mindset about it and understand what our traits are in order for us to deal with it. You can't say, I'm not going to deal with money. If you're say to yourself, I'm not going to deal with money, you're being negligent. Even if you're the partner in the household where it's a two partner household and one person strictly deals with the money and the other one doesn't, you still need to understand what the other person is doing. In our household, I am totally in charge of the money. And half of the time my husband thinks I take too many risks and I'm a little crazy on what I do. But we still discuss everything. He sees what I'm doing. I try to get him to understand. Sometimes you see his eyes rolling over in the back of his head. So, I try to do it in increments. So he understands basically what I'm doing, whether he agrees or he wants to take that step, that's a whole different ballgame. But we all need to understand the overall view of anything. So you cannot ignore your mindset and your traits on money. You need to understand them in order for you to know what your pros and cons are and how to deal with that. So we're going to talk about 10 wealthy money habits, and what are these traits, and do you have these traits, and how do you develop these traits, and how you come about to these traits. So understanding wealth is really important for you to understand. It's not merely your bank balance, your investment portfolio, your material possession. Wealth is far from that. It's a total complex tapestry, a total complex map, a total complex picture that has different threads to it. Your mindset, your habits, your specific traits, that sets and influences you apart from the average person. So you want to be, when you're dealing with wealth, to be set aside from the average person, because the average person in the US today, and even in the world, do not have an understanding of financial wellness. So if you do not have an understanding of financial wellness and you do not get yourself on that road or understand these traits, then you are always going to have that broke person habit. And, again, I'm going to tell you guys about what I learned the other day is plain old poverty. This quote I heard the other day: plain old poverty don't make people poor. Poverty making people poor, it's your habit, it's your feelings, saying it's poverty or doing something that you think poor people do is not what makes you poor. It's your mindset that makes you poor. That's what poverty is. So you need to have a wealthy mindset in order for you to be able to get out of the poverty situation. And you want to live a wealthy, rewarding life overall. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is financial literacy. That is number one. Wealthy people know their numbers. That's number one. Understanding your finance is key to understanding the rules of the game. You need to understand what it is that your financial outlook, what does your picture look like? It's like understanding your body, right? You need to understand your body because sometimes, you see skinny people all the time that eats horrible, right? They don't gain any weight. So then there's you and I where we look at something and we gain 3 pounds. So, so that person's body is different from our body. So you need to understand what you put in your body in order for you to be able to work with that. So it's the same thing with finance. Understanding the rules of the game, understanding how finances work, educating yourself on navigating things, understanding interest rates, understanding investments, understanding taxes. You don't have to be an expert in any of these things, but you need to understand the rules of the game. You need to understand get yourself literate on the overall concept of investing, what type of investing there is. There's real estate investing, investing in commodities, investing in the stock market, investing in all these different things. You need to understand it. You need to get a little closer in the things that you want to be able to understand a little bit more. So you dig a little deeper in there to understand, be informed on decisions based on data, not feelings. So you want to be able to use your data for that. Risk taking, fortune is a favor of the bold. Okay. So that means that wealthy people are not reckless, because I can tell you from fact, these 10 habits that I'm talking about right now are habits that I have developed, habits that I have learned the pros and cons about me. So that has made me develop from coming to this country at 9 years old with my dad and $100 in his pocket to having more than $1 million in net value right now, net worth right now. So I'm speaking from experience and data, and being a financial person, overall financial understanding of things. So I have my career, I have my experience with clients, I have my own journey to tell you about. So all of these things that we're talking about are things that I have worked with. You need to understand that I'm understanding. So I'm not telling you things that I haven't seen myself or I haven't tried myself. So there, you want to understand what type of risk you want to take. Like I said, pros and cons and everything. Weigh your pros and cons on the investments that you're taking. Keeping your money in a savings account that's not earning any interest will never make you wealthy. And wealthy doesn't just mean you're going to have a lot of it. Wealthy means you're living a well life. You're living a wealthy life. And that doesn't mean just money. It means overall wealth. So that's number one. Number two is your time management. Time is money. When have you heard that? Time is money. Wealthy people value their time immensely. They prioritize tasks. They have goals. They delegate. They eliminate those who don't have goals. They have, they're working with their thing. They use tools and systems to manage their schedules, ensuring that they're focused on what truly matters. You always hear that people are too busy for things. What are they too busy for? Who knows what they're too busy for? But if you say to me that you're too busy for something, that means that you're not prioritizing. And what you're telling me that you're too busy for doesn't truly matter to you. So that if it truly matters to you, you're working with, you will not be too busy for it if you're prioritizing properly. So you want to be able to do that. You want to have enough time to try new opportunities, to spend time with your family, spend time with your loved one, engage in activities, spend time doing things, have a very well balanced life. The third thing we need to talk about is adaptability. Now, this is truly and really important that we need to talk about adaptability. So adaptability, you hear this one thing that I have heard lately that have stick in my mind. Change is the only constant. That's what adaptability means, because the only thing that's constant in life is change. I guarantee you I'm planning all the time, but my plan always includes that my plan is going to change. So you have to have an outline. You have to have a plan. You always don't fly by the seat of your pants with no idea of what you're doing, but you have to have an outline, but be planned that whatever you're doing is going to change. So, the rapidly changing world adaptability is the key. The wealthy are not set in their ways. They're open to new ideas. You can't be stubborn about things. You're open to new ideas. You're willing to change your mind. You're adapting to new circumstances, whether you're embracing technology, which is number one these days, or you're looking at new business strategies. You're looking at the market changes and the ability to adapt. So adaptability is such an important thing that you need to look at. You make your plan, but you have to remember that change is the only constant. Now we're going to end this video here, and we're going to continue with part 2, where I am going to go through the other 7 things that we need to talk about. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, feel free to give me a follow to get updated on new and upcoming episodes, and listen in every Tuesday and Thursday, where I teach you smart money habits so you can make better money choices with a financial goal focus.